Hello and welcome to another Fresh Off the Stalls. It looks a bit weird at the moment because my GoPro is doing strange things and so I'm having to resort back to the use of a camera phone. So I'm going old school today. Also, secondly, no gimmicks, no drinking because actually the show I'm going to review now is actually quite a serious piece and not only do I want to, it's not only, I want to really give us a good, proper, serious review out of respect for just how good and important this piece is. So, what is this good and important piece where you're not going to go crazy with hats and booze? Well, it's the Etienne Sisters at the Theatre Royal Stratford East. Always have to remember which order those words go into. And it's a really brilliant show, and there's quite a lot to say about the show as well as about the context and the type of show it is. Not much, and I'm not going to go crazy A level sort of race essay on this, but there's some really things that I feel are very important that I want to bring out with this. So, what's the Etienne Sisters about? Essentially, it's about discovering what family means and discovering what family means to individuals. It's a really deep and complex piece. Basically, two sisters burying their mother. A strange, crazy, off the rails half sister turns up and causes a whole heap of trouble. Yeah, bringing up the past, creating new wounds whilst trying to heal old ones, da 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 da. I know I sound quite flippant about it. It's actually quite deep and quite complicated and really quite edifying. What I love about this show is just how free and natural it is, but at the same time, it embodies a real sort of sense of organic poetry. So the language isn't complicated by no means, but it has a real lilt to it, and a real rhythm to it. It's almost blank verse actually. It's like if Shakespeare had grown up in let's say Brixton or in Stratford. Why not Stratford? So that's brilliant as well. I think the characters are really well written as well. They're really set off each other rather nicely, and in that exploration of what family means, what family is, there's also classism that gets brought into this, control, and all sorts of other things. What I really want to say about this, and what have I not mentioned so far? I've not mentioned that this is black. Why? Because it doesn't bloody matter. This is a show, despite the fact it's got some amazing soulful music that goes with it. It sounds beautiful, and the fact that all the characters are black, and the fact that I suppose in some ways the language is kind of black, whatever that bloody means. This is a show that is good because it is good, and this is what I absolutely bloody love about Stratford Royal Theatre. No, Theatre Royal Stratford East. It's that they will go out on a limb and they will take stuff on that other theatres won't touch. And even if other theatres do want to do something diverse, sometimes, not all the time, they become so cliche they become borderline offensive. But this has actually picked up this show and said, greenlit it, not because it's black, but because it's good. And that's what I really love about this show. It is provocative, it is soulful, it is human, and I know I've mentioned this in my review of Lady Log. I love a piece where it's just about something that anyone can talk about from any background, and then any sort of idea of culture is kind of built on top as a sort of extra layer of intrigue, but it never overruns or takes control of the piece. And that is this by Shay Walker, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. And that is this all over. The only thing I can talk about as a negative is that the narrative suddenly escalates to huge drama very quickly, very suddenly, a bit out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, fine. But it's a really interesting one because I think whilst Shay could have dragged on the action a bit longer, I think the themes would have started to drag that they're trying to explore, and by having this sort of very sudden escalation of narrative, although it does feel a little forced and a bit out of nowhere, I think at the same time, if he hadn't have done that, things would have started to drag. We would have started scraping the bottle of the, not necessarily. I think we would have, yeah, started scraping the bottom of the barrel for what we can say about the relationships going on here. So it's a very difficult one. I don't think it really mars it, but it is a bit like, oh, okay, we're going there now. Okay, let's go with this. But it's still, it doesn't undermine what they're trying to get. Shay Walker's trying to get across here. Set is amazing. I was talking to another blogger about this on the way home. I'm not sure. I said it's not what I expected. What exactly do I expect? I don't know really, because that's a bit of a thing. It's what I expect is something that's not really. It's an operatic quality. It has that real sense of stark drama. It looks amazing. You just wouldn't expect this. Somewhere on the fringe, or I suppose Stratford is probably more off West End than fringe. That's a moot point. Let's not get into that. But it looks amazing. So, and the set designer is, I probably should have, T Green or Ty Green, Ty. I's and E's are weird in Welsh and English and other languages. I make that as an excuse. I'm just crap at any language I take on. Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. And what I really want to point out is Louis Price's video design. Oh no, video. You all know I generally really hate video in a play. Not here. Here, it's so well done. And if anyone wants to know how to use video and projection and 3D mapping, very subtly, needs to see this. It actually adds a real sense of atmosphere, of scene, of drama to the show, and only at the points it needs to. It's never omnipresent. It never distracts either, and I need to pick this out of thing because I moan so much about video in theatre, and this is just perfectly done. Direction-wise, Shay Walker's directing as well. I've never quite realised how large the space is at the Theatre Royal Stratford East. This time we just have this huge bare stage open. It's really large, but he still finds a sense of trying to get this intimacy and distance between the three sisters in this large space, but at the same time making use of the space as well. So a lot of the action kind of goes on sort of the downstage area, so it never feels like it's something that's on a large stage. Your attention is drawn there and it's kept there. And then at points they do Shay uses the wider space effectively, but sparingly as well. It's just a really good production, and I've mentioned how brilliant the songs are as well. I probably should properly attribute them to Anoushka Lucas, with additional songs by Sheila Aiton as well. This is a really good show about people being people, and not only is it really brings on some really deep themes which you can connect to on so many levels, and is complex enough to keep your interest and intrigue. It's also a great piece of drama, and that's it really. This is a really good show. I'm really glad I went. I was kind of excited, all female cast. Also, it's not an all-white show. I know Shay Walker in the press release mentions cultural apartheid in London, and I know that some people might find that a bit of a strong statement. I'm going to be enigmatic. I'm not going to give my opinion, but whether you agree with that statement or not, this certainly is, this certainly just really pushes good diverse theatre. And as I said, it's not just about being diverse theatre, it's just about being good theatre, and this is exactly what it is. Acting, I haven't got on to the actors. Also, need to mention Nikki Yo on piano, amazing, brilliant pianist, but for someone who's worked with The Roots and Courtney Pine, it's what you'd expect. Everyone in it is amazing. I really love Jennifer Sayang as Ree. You got the other two sisters have very strong personalities, and I suppose the whole point of her is kinda that she's just kind of like this wallflower, but she does kind of brim with a sense of personality and individuality that not quite got out yet, and you can kind of get that throughout her entire character. Nina Toussaint White, I hope I said that right. Toussaint. It seems a bit French. If in doubt, pronounce it French. That's what I always do. As Tree, this wonderful, strong, bitter, conflicted character. You get that she, they do call themselves, stern cows and bitches, and I know the beat words another argument to be had in another arena. But again, you get that conflict. Absolutely love Alison Ava Brown as Bo. Such energy, such connivingness, to the point where it's almost a vaudevillian personality. But you kind of always get the sense that that's not all there is. It'll be too easy to see her as the manipulative villain of the piece. But you always get that's kind of what it's coming across as really well. But it's just like, you always get that, there's always that hint there in that performance that's like, no, I'm not quite that. Although it is a big part of the character. I could wax lyrically on about this for ages. I'm noticing it's already gone up to 11 minutes. Go see this if you have a perception about what cultural theatre is about. Come here to completely break that apart and see what cultural theatre can be, which is just good theatre. Brilliant songs, really provocative narrative. Yeah, not perfect, as I've already said, and also an amazing staging and directing and fantastic performances. It's a really good night. And I don't know, let me know also if you think I should keep it with this setup, or should I get back onto the GoPro so you can see my cat going crazy in the background and a pile of unironed clean washing. Anyway, that's not important. See this. See it. Amazing. Thank you very much, Shay Walker, Anoushka Lucas, Sheila Atim, and everyone else involved in the team for a really great night. Absolutely loved it. Okay, I'm off. Bye.